Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Quarters temporary studio. Welcome to the show. This literally will haunt my nightmares for a while. And not because it is an overpowered card, it's a good card, but because that art is, oh my goodness, terrifying, and I cannot get it out of my head now. Wizards, why did you do this? Why? And this is a very playable card. This is a card that is very good in certain strategies, gonna see a good amount of play with a very popular kind of strategy, which is Aristocrats. And it is just going to, every single time it hits the table, it is going to freak me out because, again, it's even tough to look. I'm trying to do an episode on this card, and I'm trying to obviously look at the card, and I'm going to go through what the card does, but I really want to get off this image as quickly as I can, so I'm sorry that I'm putting it on the screen in front of you too. Here we go. So, Crawling Chorus, a 1/1 Phyrexian horror. Yeah, it is horrifying. We got it, Wizards. Oh my gosh, gross. All right, that costs a white. It has Toxic 1, so players dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter. So already, a low-to-the-ground creature with Toxic 1 is a great way to start off getting poison counters on one of your opponents. If you've got maybe proliferate effects in your deck, or maybe it's an infect deck, or a deck that utilizes a lot of Toxic, you can get your opponents taken out quite quickly just by starting off with even a singular poison counter early. On top of that, when Crawling Chorus dies, you get a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. Now, not being able to block, that yes is a downside, but again, you want to be aggressive with these kinds of creatures anyways, or you're literally might not even using them for attacking. You might not be using them for attacking at all, because again, when it comes to Aristocrat style strategy, you're just getting 2 bodies at the price of 1. For just a single mana, you get 2 1/1s that you can sacrifice for value. And yeah, there are plenty of ways to generate a lot of value. Again, the problem with this card is that, yeah, it is going to see a decent amount of play. And also, again, it is going to freak me out every single time I see it because that art is horrifying. Michael Walsh, you did a great job. An incredible job. An incredibly scary job. Oh my goodness. Let's move forward. Okay, safe from that picture, at least for a little bit. Oh, goodness gracious, Wizards. Anyways, Doom Traveler, the card that kind of started, it all with Aristocrats, essentially. The Aristocrat-style strategy, this was a big part of it. Doom Traveler is a 1/1 human soldier for a singular white mana. Sound familiar? And when it dies, you get a 1/1 white sphere control with flying. Now, obviously, there are certain differences between this and our brand new Crawling Chorus, and it's not just the art, obviously. I mean, instead of, this doesn't have Toxic, this doesn't have any other, keywords, essentially. And also, the 1/1 that it makes is a flyer, not a, 1/1 that can't block, but also has Toxic as well. So there are some key differences, but again, for the vast majority of decks that are going to be utilizing these, they're kind of going to be treating them the exact same. They are just a singular creature that when it dies, it gives you a token, which can be massive. Again, for Aristocrat style decks, getting that death trigger, there are ways to take advantage of that. And there are also ways to take advantage of, again, having multiple creatures to sacrifice for value. And for some reason, I had in my head that Doom Traveler was actually the original one of these, 1 mana creatures that gives you a creature when it dies. I was slightly wrong because, yeah, Tukatung Thalat apparently was the original. It just, yeah, obviously didn't have a deck built around it the same way, at least from my memory, it did not, that this one did. Regardless, a 1/1 fungus for a green dies, you get a 1/1 Saproling. So again, this one is even more simple. This is even more simplistic. You have a 1/1 that is a vanilla 1/1. When it dies, you get a vanilla 1/1, basically. This one, as well as Blister Pod, can of course work very well in Aristocrat-style strategies that utilize green as well. Blister Pod is a 1/1 with Devoid. It costs a green. It says when it dies, you get a 1/1 Eldrazi Scion that you can sacrifice for mana. So this one, again, does have a little more depth to it. Again, a simple 1/1. Devoid really doesn't matter in the vast majority of situations, or really ever. It's kind of a weird mechanic. Anyways, when it dies, though, you're getting a 1/1 that you can sacrifice for mana. So again, there's some extra benefit there. Hunted Witness, a 1/1 that just costs a singular mana. When it dies, you get a singular 1/1, but that one has lifelink. Again, when it comes to comparing, Toxic versus lifelink, or, being able to sacrifice for mana, most of these decks that are using these creatures really don't care about, that extra mechanic that's on it. I mean, decks actually with this brand new one are brand new Crawling Chorus with the disgusting art. Again, some decks that are going to be utilizing it really might care about that toxic. Again, there might be just, infect decks out there just using that just for the toxic and then also having another toxic creature when it dies. But when it comes to Aristocrat style strategies, they're kind of just going to be creature fodder regardless. And as you can see, over the years, we've gotten more and more of these kinds of, 1/1 creatures that when they die, we get another 1/1 creature. Grim Initiate, a 1/1 with first strike that costs a singular red mana. Yeah, red's getting in on this too. That when it dies, you amass 1, which, unless you're running in a mass deck, you're probably going to get a creature token out of this instead of just a 1/1 counter because it says put a +1 counter on an army you control. If you don't control one, you get a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. So basically, hey, as long as you don't have a zombie army already out there, you're getting a creature token. Garrison Cat, a 1/1 cat that costs a white that says when it dies, you get a 1/1. So again, this one is kind of like Tukatung Thallid in that, again, nothing special there at all on those creatures. But again, these kinds of decks that really want to utilize things don't care. They don't care, what you're getting essentially in return. You just get a 1/1 that sacrifices, with something else, and then you get another 1/1 that you can then sacrifice for more value. Nested Shambler, this one goes about in a somewhat different way. A 1/1 zombie for a black mana. When it dies, you get X tapped 1/1 green scroll creature tokens for X's Nested Shambler's power. So basically, hey, if you got ways to pump this, great. You can get more and more of those squirrels. Those do come to play tapped, which makes somewhat of a difference, but not really, again, for these kinds of decks that just want to sacrifice them for value. And when it comes to commanders that want to consider this disgusting card, well, unfortunately, one of them is a very, very popular commander. So, yeah, you probably have a friend or, some of your LGS that runs Teysa Karlov as their commander, and they are going to be slamming in this brand new Crawling Chorus into their deck. Not just for, its incredible effectiveness with this commander, but also to freak you out. Also to just throw you off your game by like, oh, look at this. Oh, terrible. Oh, gosh, card. Oh, no. Regardless, Teysa Karlov is a 2/4 human advisor that costs 2, white and a black. It says if a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers initial time. Basically a death harmonicon. You're doubling up on your death triggers. And yes, that counts when itself, dies. When that creature dies, you are getting now 2 Phyrexian mites. So yeah, for a singular mana, by sacrificing that creature or it dying in another way, you get 2 more creatures. That's 3 creatures for 1 mana. And of course, there are going to be a lot of other death triggers that you are going to be doubling up onto with this. Also, on top of that, creature tokens, you control Vigilance and Lifelink, a nice little additional benefit. And yeah, now those Phyrexian mites are going to be Vigilant and have a Lifelink as well to give you some extra value. Next up, another newer Aristocrat-style commander, Elas il-Kor Sadistic Pilgrim, is another great one to consider for this brand new card. A 2/2 Phyrexian Core Cleric that has Death Touch. Whenever the creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Basically, hey, sacrifice, your new card. Sacrifice your, I have to look at the card again. Okay, Crawling Chorus. I keep forgetting the name. I have to keep looking back at the card image in order to see that. Oh, gross. Okay, so yeah, Crawling Chorus, by getting it into play, by sacrificing it and getting the token into play, you of course are going to be gaining 2 life. By sacrificing it as well as the token, you're going to be draining each opponent for 2 life in total. That, in a game of Commander, obviously, is going to be 6 life in total loss for your opponents over all of them. And yeah, again, that is just for a single mana, for 1 creature for 1 mana. And of course, with it being a low-to-the-ground creature as well, there are plenty of ways to get it back and get it right back into play and, yeah, keep the fun going. Next up, how about Thales Reverent Medium, a 3/4 human cleric that says at the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Obviously, this is another way to get an additional token out of you, losing or sacrificing your brand new card. You're going to get that Phyrexian Might, and on top of that, again, at the end step, because you created that token, you're going to be getting an additional creature token with that 1/1 flying spirit. So kind of like an additional Doom Traveler benefit in a way for that. But yeah, again, more things to sacrifice, more juicy Aristocrat style value. And yeah, if you are going, that infect direction, that, now toxic infect direction, the poison direction, Atraxa Praetor's Voice can definitely consider this one as well. A 4/4 angel that has flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink, and says at the beginning of your end step, proliferate. So yes, getting this down, again, say on turn 1, again, it does have Toxic 1 itself. You can start that poison on your opponent. You can start that on multiple opponents most likely because, yeah, your opponents probably don't have any blockers that early. So, yeah, give some players poison counters. Start building those counters up with Atraxa and other proliferate effects. And also, again, when Crawling Chorus dies, you get another token that has poison as well, that has Toxic 1. So you can get through with that, of course, in various ways to just keep that poison growing and growing on your opponents to take them out. At the end of the day, though, yeah, again, the creepiest, in my opinion, the most scarring art of the entire set, of course, is on a card that is going to see a decent amount of play again. If you're playing against Aristocrat style strategy and they are using, white as one of the colors in the color identity, again, if it's a Teysa deck, again, a very popular commander, you can bet your bottom dollar that this is probably going to be in the deck. Not just, again, because of the amount of value they can provide them. Again, a 1-mana creature, they get a lot of value through sacrificing it, as well as the token. But also on top of that, yeah, just for the mental scarring. Just for throwing you off your game by being like, look at this gross thing. You're like, oh, gosh. Yeah, so, Wizards, thank you so much for this. Gross. And with that, today's episode is coming to an end. So, yeah, comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.